Hi, I'm Steve Shelburne, owner and operator of Shelburne RV here in beautiful Cleveland, Tennessee. Well, good morning, welcome back. We're back from the NTP show. You've probably seen some of the videos that I shot while I was there. I didn't quite do a big long video like I've done in the last couple of years. I just don't get a lot of views when we do that. So I just did some, as you guys already seen, did some spotlight videos of some stuff that I saw that I really liked. So I hope you enjoyed that. But we're back. We survived the snowstorm in Denver. I actually had a little bit of plane trouble on our way back, and they had to do an emergency landing in Iowa, and then had to send another plane after us because I couldn't fix our plane. Evidently it got damaged when they were de-icing in Denver. So that kind of sucked. Took us a long time. That 2:30 arrival back in Chattanooga turned into 11 o'clock at night. So yeah, that wasn't too fun. But boys got quite a bit done. The floor that you saw Lewis working on before we left, he got that all finished up. So it's done and gone. I do have a hot water heater coming, a new Suburban ST model. There's an on-demand hot water heater coming that we're going to do an install on that. It's a demo for that gentleman. And then we can see how that new product works for us. So we got that coming through. I've got a few things in the shop. They're actually in there working on a generator on a horse trailer right now. And then cousin Gary is over there moving some campers around. So I got to go down here to the office right quick and see the boss. So let me get that done, and then we'll start looking at what we got. So they were started working on this big horse trailer while I was gone on vacation. Now, this thing's a monster. It's like 42-foot horse trailer. This thing's ginormous. And they brought it in a couple months ago. The generator, the control board was bad on the generator. Now, this is a gas generator. Control board was bad. Cummins does not have any. Out. Discontinued. So what's the solution? Unfortunately, it's replace the generator. Sucks. So the customer found that generator. That's actually a propane generator. So we're going to be changing it from the gas to the propane. We've already tested that generator, seems to run fine. So we're going to get that changed over. They're just doing the plumbing and that kind of stuff on that. Then you can see this other big toy hauler. You've seen this one on previous videos. It had no decals on it. It was just a plain white camper. But as you can see now, Tori's been wrapping it. So he's working on getting the wrap done on that. And then we actually had a little bit of a problem with the 5,500 watt Cummins generator that was in it. It kept throwing a code saying it had a problem with the fuel injection. Now, that's just a regular gas carbureted generator, so I don't know what the heck or why the heck it was saying, fuel injection issue. So we actually put a control board on it, and they ran it while I was gone. So it ran for several hours, six hours, I think. Never had a problem. So we're going to assume that that's good, but he is working on getting the wrap done on that right now. So let's go out here. I got one out in front of the building. I'm going to show you what we're working on out here. So another one I had come in while I was gone was this Class C right there. And the Schwinn Tech rack, imagine that. It's completely out of that system. So they're going to have to get me a price on that so I can call his Good Sam's and see if we can get that under control. The other one is that right there. Fascia's all jacked up. So I got to see about finding a replacement part for that. And then got to quote that out. So a couple things, but there's my phone. I got to grab that. So we're in here on this horse trailer, and the customer had a complaint that the slide was not opening and closing correctly. Now I'm going to try to shine my light in here where you can see this. But if you look right down there on the left-hand side of that bar right there, that's actually a magazine that is jammed in between the slide mechanism and the slide. So we're going to get that out of there and retest. So after we got this out of here, it actually was a book. You can see this thing has been riding inside this camper for a long time. That just didn't happen today or yesterday. That's been going on for a while. So we've got that out of there. We're gonna retest that slide. Now, we've been in here changing out these water inlet valves. These water inlet valves that are, you can see them right there. These are the original ones that have been in here, and they built this camper with those in there. So they've never been changed. So it's been a little bit of a challenge getting all that changed out. But now that we've got them updated and the plumbing inside is correct, if that one ever goes bad, it'll be easy to fix. So starter's out in the truck now. Been grinding real hard trying to get it started this morning, and so probably the original one from 95. So the way it goes sometimes. So we're up here on the roof of this big Scepter, and customer brought this in, said the air conditioner was leaking. Now that gasket was bad. I'll show you kind of what was going on with that gasket here in a minute. But also we've had some water intrusion coming in on this roof. Now look at the sealant on this. Obviously has not been anything done with this in a while, to the point where this camper looks like it's been sitting. This guard is supposed to be over the slide out topper. Look at that, it's all jammed up in here, and look how nasty that slide out topper is. So obviously this coach has been sitting a while. But something I wanted to show you guys up here that, man, I don't know what the heck's going on. I ain't never seen anything like this. But look at the blistering that's going on the top of this camper. And that is look at that failure right there. I ain't never seen nothing like that. Like the fiberglass is blistering out, and it's all the way across this. I mean, this can't be, I don't know how it's not leaking at this point. So obviously a major problem with that. So gonna have to have that conversation with the customer. But let me take you down here and I'll show you this gasket we pulled off the roof of this thing. So here's the gasket that actually came off of the roof of this thing. That's crazy. That's typically an inch thick. So that thing was all pulled down so tight, and it, you know, just years of being clamped down on there. So obviously went in there and changed that, put a new one in there, got everything taped up. But I got to go have a conversation with him about that blistering over the cab right there. I don't know why in the world that thing ain't leaking. It ought to be pouring inside that as bad as it is. So I'm gonna go do that now. So just had that nice little conversation with that gentleman about that roof problem you just saw, and said he doesn't spend too much money on this camper, and he don't want to spend no more money. So, you know, this is the problem we run into. I mean, you bring it to me because it's leaking. It's obviously got problems. And, you know, the bad part is he's probably going to leave out of here. He'll call me in a week or two and say, well, it's still leaking, but don't want to spend any money on it. So, you know, this is what I deal with every day. So that's just part of it. Anyways, Tori's just about got the HBR trailer done. So kind of finishing up on that. Turned out real nice. So I got a couple other things over here I'm going to show you, but we're going to move on. So here we go. Well, several videos ago, you guys saw this big Alpha that came in for a floor repair. Well, the customer picked it up, has been gone for a little bit. They called and said that the slide had some burned wires up. Didn't understand what was going on with that, so he brought it back. Well, we have diagged it a little bit. Up underneath here are a couple solenoids that drive the motor for the slide. Now, we do have the slide motor out. The slide motor is burned up, but also one of these solenoids up under here is burned up. Now, I'm gonna take you in here and show you kind of what I found, or what the boys found, that what probably potentially burned up the solenoid and or burned up the motor, don't know. But the solenoid's obviously bad. I'm gonna show you what's going on. Let's go in here and take a look. So right there's the solenoid. There's the other one that run the slides. There's actually two of those solenoids that actually run the slides in and out. Now, I don't know if you can see it real well, but look how wet. See how wet that solenoid is? If you look up there on this, I'll see if I get my light in here. See that hose clamp right there? That hose is leaking on this. I think it's probably for the heat for the dash maybe. But you can see the drip of fluid antifreeze on there, and it's been dripping on this solenoid. The solenoid's sopping wet. So if we jump across the top of those two posts right there, that slide actually works. But when you hit the button in there, that solenoid's dead. So evidently antifreeze has been leaking on top of that and causing problems. So we're gonna have to see what we can find out for a replacement of that. Not sure if that's what caused the problem, but it obviously is a problem. Okay, so we're out here this morning working on a big Montana fifth wheel. Customer complaint was he thought he froze the tanks and broke the tank. So we actually brought it up here this morning to put water in the black water tank to see if it was even broken. We kind of found out that it wasn't broken, it was actually full of sewage. So it's so plugged up right now, we're trying everything we can to try to get it unplugged. So let me show you what we found. So we've actually gone in here and pulled the underpinning loose down underneath here and try to figure out what the heck's going on. Now, we did verify that the valves are working correctly. They are opening, they are closing. Adrian, let me jump in here right quick. And so the problem being, there's two tanks in here. This is gray water tank, that's the black water tank. Well, obviously you can kind of see the pipe right there. So over here you can see where it's wide. That's a problem. How do you get a snake all the way up there and around and back in there? I've already tried, so I can't do it. So I've actually gone in here and you can see, if I can get in there and show you, I've actually drilled a hole in the top of the pipe and I've got my snake in right there, and we're trying to get it unplugged that way, because we tried putting a snake in the down the toilet, but obviously that wasn't working because we couldn't find where the hole on the black water tank was. So now that we've got it semi moving, we're letting it build some water back in that tank, because we got a little bit to come out of there. This thing's been sitting here with stuff in it so long. Those are actually crawly dudes in there, so not good. This is what we're dealing with. So right now we're trying to get some water in this tank, and then we're going to try to pull the valve and see what comes out. So now it looks like we might have got some of the plug undone, so it's starting to flow pretty good right there. So just a little bit of a nightmare trying to get it up through all that snake bend that they had in there, but it is flowing now. So we'll do this a few more times just to make sure we get everything flowed out of there. Okay, so I had this little Coleman bumper pull that came in today that we've been doing some looking at. Customer complaint was that the furnace didn't work. James did get in here and do a manometer test on the propane regulator, and we did find that the furnace does work, but that we were only supplying just a little under 10 inches of water column. Now 11 is where we want to be. Obviously out in the cold, tank pressure drops, furnace quit working because we're below the 11 inches of water column. The other problem was the air conditioner, and of course the good old Dometic Brisk Air 2 did run it for 20 minutes, found out that charge is gone, so freezing up the capillary tube, no change in the temperature. So I got the paperwork, gonna run down here, see Miss Jen, see if we can get that. This is a Good Sam's claim, so we're gonna see if we can get that rolled through here and get that under control. All right, well, it's been a little bit of a whirlwind Friday. I hadn't really gotten a lot of videos done today. It's just been crazy busy. Had a little Class C motor coach that came in today. Customer had stated that it wouldn't, when he plugged it up, all the lights inside worked, 12-volt worked, but when he was unplugged, nothing would work. And he had spent a bunch of money changing parts, and so we got to looking, and there was a little reset switch in behind one of the cabinets that supplied the battery power to the solenoid to turn it on and off, and it was tripped. So that was a simple fix. So got that all fixed up. They've got a Class A pursuit in the shop. They're going to start on the floor Monday, try to get that all done. So got that going on. We had a little roof seal that we had to do today. A little bit of a cold day today, nice working inside. That big Montana that you guys saw us working on first of the week, that had the black water tank all stopped up in it, So we let that stuff sit with the commando in it overnight, and it did wonders on it. And you can see it's back down here at the dump station. But we got it somewhat flowing, and it was so bad. You guys have got to fill those tanks up with water and float that stuff out of there. Evidently that one hadn't been getting floated out of there, and it was so bad. It's so bad we've got the commando in it again, and I'm going to let it sit over the weekend and then retest it on Monday, because the stuff coming out of that was just it's that bad. So yeah, it's going to have to sit for a little bit. So other than that, it's just been a busy week. So hope everybody has a great weekend. Thanks for watching, and remember, this video is Cousin Gary approved. Take care.